Okay, so we are officially recording right now. My name is Mike Meth, and I am joined today by...
You said Mike.
Did I say Beth? Mike Meth. My name is Mike Meth. Meth. And today I'm joined by my brother Daniel, who also happens to be an extraordinary tap dancer. And the point of this recording today is, Daniel, I'm going to have you, first of all, say hello.
Good morning.
To America. And by America, I mean the 5 people who are watching this video.
And none of them probably reside in America.
No.
Big Asian following.
So I'm going to have you pretend to be ignorant when it comes to whatever it is that I do here. And I'm going to have you ask me questions. And I'm going to field those questions. And meanwhile, every now and then off screen, I'm going to be showing my brother humorous images. And, oh, no, don't look yet. Okay, so let's start off with some Q&A here. First of all, let's do a... So, I'm going to do a little illustration. Me and my brother. Oh, you don't have a neck.
I think that there's also something else that's not anatomically proportional in that picture.
Don't worry, I'll fix it. I'm the one with the hair. So this is us. And now that we have that settled, let's move on to... Ooh, I have an email. Let's move on to some questions and answers.
Maybe
so
it's
Daniel,
work-related.
Yeah. If you knew nothing about what I do, which is accurate, how would you start? How would you question me?
Michael,
Yes.
I know that you sleep until about noon every day.
Yeah. Right now, actually, it's 8:06 in the a.m., and I'm really not happy to be awake.
What is it that you fill the other half of your day doing when you're not busy pleasuring yourself in your bedroom?
I was going to say, don't say masturbation.
Why?
What do I do? Okay. Well, I fancy myself a digital illustrator. And what that means, I don't know. What does that mean? I don't know. I like to do paintings of people. Let's see, what can I actually show?
I make pictures.
I make the pictures. Here's something I'm working on. Presently.
Are you doing a painting of Dad?
Yep. Of Donny Hathaway. So, I guess question, because you're really being helpful here. Questions that I usually...
Let's go back and do it again.
No, we're doing it. We're not. We're doing this live.
Let's do it again.
No, we're doing this.
Let's do it again.
There is no...
I'm going to be funnier next time. Let's do it again.
No,
come on.
we're...
Take 2.
We are powering through!
Take 2. I needed to see what it was going to be like.
Okay, well, this is what it's like. So we're continuing.
Okay.
Ask me some questions specific to my craft that someone who has no idea what it is that I do might ask me.
You do realize that the potential for this to end in a fiery crash is just huge.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Why is it
Yes.
that you prefer to work with a digital medium as opposed to something more traditional?
What a wonderful question. Thank you so much. The reason this is, I guess, the main question that I get. I started off drawing, painting traditionally, and I switched over to digital. You like the way I pronounce that?
No. Tito's Burritos.
I don't know. Maybe 10 years, something like that. When I first got my first Wacom tablet.
I thought that we weren't talking about masturbation today.
Nice. So this is...
That was witty, wasn't it?
That was nice. I like that.
Okay.
My tablet. This is on the table.
With an antenna.
And the way that Wacom tablets work, is it directly simulates drawing, or I guess painting. Comes with a stylus. With a little nib at the end. Don't laugh at the word nib. And it's pressure sensitive. And I use...
What part? Just the tip?
I use Adobe Photoshop. Pretty much exclusively. So the reason why I use digital as opposed to traditional, and I'm not saying one is a replacement for the other. I think that you still need traditional expertise. You know, if someone was going to learn how to draw or paint, I would say to learn it traditionally first before making the transition to digital. But to answer your question, finally, after about 5 minutes of...
I felt that I was the tap dancer.
is that I think it gives me more versatility. It's very similar workflow to traditional. I mean, if you can't draw, you can't paint traditionally, you're not going to be able to do it digitally. But it gives me more tools to, I guess, change things on the fly if I want to. I'm a very obsessive and compulsive person when it comes to doing art stuff. So for little details, if I notice something's off, you know, you could make those changes traditionally, but at this point, because I've been doing it for so long, I feel like I'm able to do, you know, I'm able to make my changes quicker and more effectively on the fly, digitally. And I probably didn't answer the question at all, but we're moving on. Go ahead. Next. What do you got for me?
I'm still a bit confused as to why
You're
you chose
an
to. But I mean, what about people who would say that by doing things digitally and having the ability to go back and make changes as you go, or you know, to backtrack and redo things?
Yeah.
What about those who might say that takes some of the, for lack of better terms, magic out of the craft?
Takes the magic away. That's a big sticking point.
I once had a librarian when I was in elementary school.
Yes.
Who, when we would misbehave in library,
She took your magic! I remember!
She would take our magic away. For some reason, my magic was always in my sock. I had a gym teacher later in life who said my magic was elsewhere. But Mrs. Stroh always told me that the magic was in my sock.
I remember Mrs. Stroh.
She would make me give her my magic back when I was a bad boy.
I recall. I remember that. I feel like she has been 50 years old for 50 years, Mrs. Stroh.
I think she may have gotten cancer.
Oh, that's... Anyway. Not funny. It's not a funny thing. I think you're right. Moving on. And this is a question that I have gotten, or a comment that I have gotten a lot. I mean, and with this video, I'm speaking much less to people who are seasoned in Photoshop and the digital arts. This is more as like a public service for everyone else. Not the newbies, but people unlike myself who actually have lives
and jobs
and don't, you know, sit at a computer screen all day. And you know, I went to Comic-Con this past October, and I was talking to, a painter. I'm burping. I was talking to a painter who does similar type of, you know, similar style as me. He does realistic illustrations, but he does them in oil paint.
Oh man, I've got a good question for my next one. Continue.
I'm going to continue.
Okay.
And, you know, I was talking to the guy, he had some really great stuff, and I was showing him my wares, and he was like, oh man, that's great, that's awesome stuff. You know, how did you do it?
Wahlberg do that at the end of Boogie Nights? Didn't he show everyone his wares? I believe it was prosthetic. But anyway,
I need you to dial it back. Dial it back.
Before you
dial it back!
Before you told me I was no help.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry. So I'm showing this guy my stuff, and you know, he was very complimentative. Is that a word?
Complimentary?
No. Well, that's a word too. Anyway, he was telling me, you know, he really
Full
liked my stuff. Yes, he had lots of compliments, and you know, he asked me how I did it. You know, with acrylic or oil, blah 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 blah. And I said, well, actually, you know, I hand paint everything with a tablet in Photoshop. And the tone of that conversation very quickly shifted from him being, you know, impressed and saying that my stuff was great to he just said, oh, well, I guess, you know, I don't really care anymore. And unfortunately, that's a common reaction, I guess, because, you know, people who don't really understand how I do what I do, or how other people who paint or draw with tablets work, they assume that it's somehow cheating, or that it somehow requires less talent than something than, you know, drawing or painting traditionally. And as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't. It's, you know, it's a very similar workflow, and it's different. You know, when photography first started, and people were taking pictures with whatever ridiculous looking cameras they used to use, and, you know, initial critics would say, oh, it's cheating, it's not really art. And then however many years later it's been now, I don't know. It's, you know, it's become a valid and respected form of art. So my hope is that at some point, hopefully in the near future, I will be judged not by the color of my I will be judged not by the software, you know, the medium that I use to create my stuff, and just, you know, sort of on the merit of whatever it is that I create.
So something along the lines of it's not so much the size of the boat, but rather the emotion in the ocean.
Something to that effect.
Okay.
That was a good question. I'd like to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you.
Okay. And let's see. Oop, there's a bug. Here, look at this, real quick. Anyway.
That wasn't quite as funny as I was.
No, it's okay. Well, I have more.
Hoping.
I have more. So there's magic happening off screen that you're not privy to. And I'm sorry. Give me something else. I have no idea. This has probably been running for a while, but I hope it's actually recording. It looks like it's recording.
Why don't we stop it and check?
I don't want to stop it. I want to power through. And then, if need be, I'll go back in and chop it up and edit it later.
I think I had a good question before.
You mentioned that you had a good question.
Ah, yes. Here's my question.
Yeah.
So, when you do these lifelike, or as you call them, photorealistic...
No! I do not say photorealistic! And I want to point that out because there are a bunch of assholes on the internet. I shouldn't say assholes. I'm saying assholes.
That's not the...
Okay,
You're calling your audience names.
No, not my... Okay. There are people on the internet, especially... No. There are people on the internet who... when I first had my... Let's see if I can find it. My Super Mario... Oh! Nobody saw that. Where did I put it? We'll edit that later. We'll edit it later, I said! Super Mario! So when this first came out, a friend of mine actually posted it. Posted this on Reddit.
Sound like my wife.
And it got a lot of attention, which was great. However, my dear friend, for whatever reason, titled the link or whatever as, you know, my friend Mike Meth does photorealistic digital illustration, blah, 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 blah. And the internet exploded. And that's not photorealistic, blah, 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 blah.
It literally exploded.
Exploded.
Al Gore had to be called in to fix it.
So I am very careful with that word. Sorry to completely derail your question. I hope you remember it. But I like to refer to what I do as creative realism, so I don't have to deal with that type of scrutiny.
Did you brush your teeth?
I did. It's just a coffee.
Okay. So like I was saying, when you do this photorealistic art,
Oh, you're... Yes.
I've seen your work in the past. I like what it is that you do.
You've seen my work.
I've seen you do some work in the past.
Yes.
And when I am not modeling nude for you, I have noticed that you tend to work from a pre-existing photograph. You know, using like a photograph as a template,
Right.
to sort of guide you along your way. Are you able to do this work without having some sort of reference? I mean, could you just create something anew without basing it off of, a previous work?
Yes.
Like I see with that tablet picture that you just had up on the screen. To the best of my knowledge, there was no photo of this tablet,
and that's why it's all
on your cardboard box.
Right. Yes. And that's a loaded question, I guess. You know, it goes into just the notion of using reference for any type of art. When you're trying to do something realistic, not photorealistic, but that has some of the elements and the nuances of something that you might find in the natural world, I find that, at least for me, I find it's important to use reference. But an important distinction to make is that, let me do this off screen here. I usually try and create, what can I use? What am I working on?
Definitely don't use any of those pictures.
No.
I don't know how old the girls were.
That's me there.
Man, look at all your boyfriends.
I like to use a collage of reference. So that way I'm not, exclusively borrowing from one picture. Yeah, I could very easily do something without reference. I'm sure I have some on here, I don't know where. But like I said, for the type of result that I want to get, it's important to use, some examples of something that, that exists in real life. So, like, I can't speak English right now. I'll use.
That's right. None of the audience does it.
Yeah. Well, they're not even. Nobody's watching at this point.
It's gonna be a whole lot of Google translating going on here.
Let me get this picture. So for this picture of Connor Kenway from Assassin's Creed 3, if you look at my reference, it's not really based on any one thing. I use this. This is a painting by an artist friend of mine here, this dude. A self-portrait that he painted, and that was sort of the main inspiration for the painting. It's got similar composition and lighting and color, but it's clearly it's not the same piece. So when I'm
hey dummy, why don't you put them side by side?
It's hard to do that.
Lots of things are hard to do.
I hope we're not. I think no, we're not freezing.
If we didn't do things because they were hard, we would never have Uncrustables.
So yeah, I'm taking elements from all these pieces of reference. That's what I do, because I could very easily take one photo, and I'm gesturing with my hands, and no one can see, but I could very easily work from one photo and just recreate that, which I have done. I think I have an example of a wedding portrait that I did. I could show you. There's nothing here on that. It's bad. This is on my site. So this was a basic, just a straight up photo reproduction, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I wasn't gonna say no because I got paid to do it. But I feel like artistically maybe it's lacking just because it looks exactly like the photo. So why wouldn't you just want the photo?
Right.
So when I am doing something, I want to feel like I'm creating something original. Does that maybe answer your question?
I don't even remember
I don't
what my
remember.
question was at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
But it sounded good.
It did sound good.
It did sound pretty good.
Okay.
Here's my next question.
Yes, what do you got?
Why is it that you refuse to work with pants on? Does that somehow aid you in the creative process?
I
Does it
do
allow you to feel more free?
That's exactly. I was going to say that. It's more of a freedom type of thing. Just emotionally, I like to feel uninhibited when I'm working, and I feel like if I'm trying to make it, if I'm trying to put that out there into my pieces, why not live it? So that's why I don't wear pants. Why aren't you wearing pants right now?
I never wear pants.
That's fair. And I can see, no one else can see, that I can see the resemblance.
But we do have the same mother, just
We
different
do.
fathers.
Yeah.
That was a picture of my father that you just glossed over.
Where are we? Beep, beep, beep. So yeah, this is pretty accurate, I would think. I really don't know. You have a very nice shaped head. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to
Wait.
What?
I have
What?
another question.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Do you find it hard that doesn't make grammatical sense? Do you find it difficult
Yes.
to be drawing on a tablet but not able to see what you're actually drawing underneath the surface of the
Ah,
canvas?
that is an interesting point that is being raised. Let's do a quick little illustration here of how I. This is going to be me, by the way. So here's my desk. And a tablet, you can't really see it. It's over here. My keyboard is through my body, apparently.
Inside me.
Yeah. Lock it up! So I got my monitors.
That's right, you have two of them.
Yes, I do have 2 monitors. I've earned it with all the hard work that I haven't done in life.
And the money that Dad paid for.
Yes. So the tablet is over here. I work exclusively when I'm doing my art on this monitor.
And what's on the other one?
Don't worry about it. Inspiration. Ooh, let's there's something funny I want to show you. I know that. I'm going to. Oh, did that show? All right. We'll fix it in post. What do I want to show you? Oh, that's funny. So, what I was. Okay, we're getting back. We're getting off point. So on this monitor, lock it up. Reel it back in.
What do you think the response to that question was? Do you think he said yes?
I don't know. I don't know if it was articulated. And no one is ever going to know what's on the screen right now. And it's beautiful. So the question was, is there a disconnect when I'm drawing on this tablet here while looking at the screen here and it shows up here? The answer is, what a stupid question. No. It depends. It's very much, I think, a person by person type of thing. I know that when I'm working, like I said, I work exclusively on this monitor. And I make sure that I have my tablet pretty much directly underneath it. Because I've noticed when I have the tablet over here, for example, or over here, there is a disconnect. But if they're lined up one-on-one, then it doesn't really. It's pretty intuitive. Yeah, it's pretty natural. At least I took to it pretty quickly. Our grandmother has tried it. Not on this one, I don't think, but she has her own tablet, and she hasn't really. And she's old, but she hasn't had any difficulties.
Which grandmother?
Don't worry about it.
Because I would have been a hell of a lot more impressed with one than the other.
But yeah, it's pretty easy to grasp, and I think that's why the company is so successful. But they also actually.
What's the name of the company?
Wacom. Wacom tablet. And I'll be taking.
What model Wacom tablet are you using?
I am using a Wacom Intuos 3. Oh wait, is it a 4? 3. I don't know. I think it's a 3.
That would have taken all the wind out of your sail.
Pretty sure it's a 3. They have. I really don't know. They have newer models. I know that. Whether this is a 3 or 4, they have the next one available that I'm not using. This one works fine for me. They also make something called the Cintiq. And so, you know, like we were talking about, right now I'm drawing on the tablet and it shows up on the monitor. I'm gesturing. Okay, so I draw here, shows up here. They make these things called the Cintiq, which it's kind of like well played, sir. They make Cintiqs, which the tablet is actually a monitor, so you're able to draw directly on the monitor,
like an easel.
Like, yeah. Now there's a common misconception that the Cintiq is a standalone computer, which it's not. You still need a computer to hook it up to. I've used them; they're awesome. But I've been using the tablet for this long at this point that I'm comfortable. But if somebody wants to send one my way, I wouldn't shoo it away. Wouldn't sneeze at it. There. There's something else I want to show you.
I've seen this one before.
I know, but it's still amazing.
I know.
It's still amazing.
It doesn't do anything for me right now.
No, I'm sorry.
I actually think that I have that photo on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, I may have something to show you.
Do you have anything pressing right now? Because I think we might take
pressing
a break.
Where? Oh, questions.
Yes, questions.
No, I don't.
Comments,
Not at this
insights.
moment.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to take a break here, and maybe we'll come back, and maybe not. Who knows? But this was fun. I enjoyed this. Did you have a nice time?
I had a blast. I'm looking forward to doing it again.
And yeah, so I think we're going to continue to do these. And is that Mom?
I got this texted to me while I was sitting at dinner with our father, his wife, and our grandmother.
By whom?
And Bobsha said to me, "What did you just get on your phone?"
Oh, Jesus.
And I said, "Do you want to see it?" And thankfully, she said yes. So I showed it to her.
So we are taking a break now, and we will be back at some point. It's been real. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. And thanks. Thanks for caring.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for sharing. Thanks for caring.